What up, horror fans, and welcome to another episode of the Disasterpiece Theater. This time, we got a slasher triple feature coming for you. I'm Mike. This is James. Roll the intro. First up on the list, we've got The Burning. This is a movie that had escaped both James and I for quite some time, and we finally watched it for the first time. And I'd have to say, in most parts of the horror community, this is considered to be a classic.
Yeah, I'm neutral on this.
It's one of the video nasties, as many would know. I am also pretty neutral on it. It didn't bring anything fantastic to the table.
Well, I know there's some controversy about which one came first, Friday the 13th or The Burning. Is that whole issue?
Yeah, I'm sure there is that issue. I mean, I really don't care which one came first. Friday the 13th is the better film.
Oh, by far.
Without question.
But this has Jason Alexander.
It does have Jason Alexander.
And Holly Hunter.
In a very brief role. An unnamed role. So,
not naked, though.
No, she is not. Also not 18, I believe. And,
neither is Jason Alexander.
He is. He's probably like 25 in it.
It's like 70. It's like... He needs life alert. He's wearing that little life alert chain throughout the whole film.
It is. He is wearing it.
No, it is.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
It is?
So you've demoted Jason Alexander to it.
From a he to an it, which I feel is appropriate.
Sure, why not? It is.
The film as a whole was fairly slow paced. I'm still not quite sure who our protagonists were.
Well, there was nudity in the film. You know I'm going to bring that up.
I did assume you would mention it at some point.
Not as much as Friday the 13th, though.
No. And not as well done as Friday the 13th.
I think I said Friday the 13th dough.
I mean, yeah.
1, 2, tree.
But it... And the nudity isn't as well... The nudity...
It will take you further than fear.
What's that?
What is further than fear?
Further than fear is petrification.
Were you petrified?
No. I was barely entertained. You like that? I know you'd like that.
When that one girl got naked and she hopped into the water, right? For a second I was petrified. And the guy was all abusive, like he tried to rape her. It
was very weirdly abusive.
He literally tried to rape her, and Harvey Weinstein wrote this.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that there is a character in this film that basically tries to force himself onto a woman and then guilt her into not being with him, to the point where she's then with him.
Yeah.
And this movie was written by Harvey Weinstein.
It's almost like Stockholm Syndrome. A little bit. You know what I mean?
A little bit of creepy foreshadowing, for sure.
And oddly enough, the executive producer was Bill Cosby. Because she got the pills.
No, we're not going to include a Bill Cosby impression in this episode. Okay. It's not going to happen. So,
a little bit of a prologue. Some kids having fun at camp, and they decide to scare the guy a little bit with some gasoline and fire. You know, just harmless fun, gasoline and fire. And
I remember at Camp Tecumseh my harmless pranks involving gas and fire. We did them all the time.
Yeah, and hardly anyone got hurt, right? Just that one kid with the 3rd-degree burns, but I mean...
Right.
You're going to scrape your knee sometimes when you play ball.
I mean, it was right up there with other pranks involving locked rooms and sulfuric acid.
Mm-hmm. I remember those. Bottle rocket tampons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So, overall, I would say...
We haven't even talked about the guy who gets burnt. So these camp kids...
Correct.
They burn him up.
They do.
And then life goes on, and they become counselors themselves.
And he comes back... No, it doesn't even specify that any of the kids that burnt him are the older children.
I thought, like, the main guy, the guy that was looking out for the kid... I thought he was one of the guys. I thought he was having flashbacks at some point, but hell, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not that I didn't pay attention, it's that I don't care.
There's nothing spectacular about it. You're never given any reason to care about any of these people. And it's pretty much a straightforward slasher film. It's entertaining, but it didn't give me any reason to really be excited about it.
The burn effects were pretty good.
The gore in it worked. There was nothing I could seriously point at and say, oh, that's bad, or that was edited poorly. I mean, overall, it's a well-constructed film.
Was this Savini? I don't have a good enough eyesight, so you're going to have to tell me if Savini...
Let me see. It is, in fact, Tom Savini.
And didn't he do the special effects for Friday the 13th?
Did he?
I'm not 100% sure, but, I mean, that would be kind of weird.
He did it for at least one of them.
Yeah.
Because he did the documentary. He was the host of the documentary.
Yeah, so that would be weird if there's a controversy about which one came out first, because, or...
He'd be able to answer that.
Yeah.
But maybe he's contractually obliged not to.
Or maybe he just doesn't want
That
to.
would be a weird contract. The Burning, watchable. I can understand why it was a video nasty back when it was originally introduced, but not very shocking by today's standards, obviously. Just another pretty straightforward slasher flick.
See, I thought this was about prostrate issues. That's what I thought. It was about the burning. I thought this thing's going to be fucking scary. You know, or crabs, or anything with like a yeast infection. Can men get yeast infections? Staph infection. That's what men get in their penises. Staph infections, right?
Sure. They get urinary tract infections. That's the thing. Make sure you zoom in on you when you're talking there so people don't see me belching in my mouth.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it would be it would be wonderful if while you're making your point, people are looking at me going.
Yes, but you said you don't want people to see you belch in their mouth. Where else would you be belching in?
I mean, it's not uncommon for me to belch out of my armpit.
Okay.
You thought I was going to go to a dirty place.
I did, but
I kept
then I realized,
clean.
yeah, because you know your mom's watching.
Yeah. So that's our feeling on The Burning. Watch it. It is a video nasty, so it is a
It's
piece
funny you say that's your
of horror
feeling.
history.
That's your feeling on The Burning.
It is.
That's your feeling on The Burning.
That is my feeling on The Burning. So that's our impression of The Burning. I'm looking at the wrong fucking screen again. You're not in there. You're not in there. You're not in there, people. You're in there.
Whoever you are.
So that's our impression of The Burning. An entertaining film, a video nasty, so a piece of horror history, so worth watching in that respect, but it doesn't bring anything new to the table to a modern horror audience.
No.
Moving on to a film that I kind of love, just purely
You just kind of love
out of
this movie is brilliant.
There's some good stuff about this. We're gonna
this
say
is the Citizen
Mutilator.
Kane. Yes. Fall Break.
Also known as Fall Break.
Do you want to sing it?
I don't want to sing the Fall Break
man.
theme song. So this horror film opens with a 90s sitcom level intro.
Yeah, it's Party of
complete
Five.
with music. It's more like Full House, you know, Family Matters, Step by Step, that era of... But it was made way before them.
Yeah.
But yet, if you had aired this at the same time, people would have gone, oh, yeah. Yeah, that fits in with every other intro of a sitcom airing right now. It's really fantastic, and I don't have any real argument about that intro. I kind of love it.
Yeah.
So again...
Yeah, talk about the Mutilator.
Well, that's why we're here.
On planet Earth?
No, that's why we're recording these videos.
Forever have been searching for a reason. Why are we here? What is the purpose of my existence?
No,
and
it's not that deep.
Because
it's just
the
literally you and I are sitting in this room in front of a camera to talk about the slasher films we sat in.
There's a camera in here? Is that it?
James, I'm only going to say this to you as your friend. And because you do great work behind the camera, editing.
I do?
Yeah, you do. No, you do. You do great editing stuff. I can't do editing. He edits all these videos. I can't do it. James, you're a bad actor.
Am I?
You just. I mean, you'd be a great actor on like one of those Disney shows.
Yeah.
Like one of those Disney kids shows where they overact everything.
That would be kind of weird, though. You know, me being in my 40s.
I think it would totally sell it.
I could play a teenager, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Like a tween?
I think so.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Kind of feels like a compliment.
I mean, it is.
It also feels like the
in
burning.
that it is in that it's not
a compliment. You know I'm fragile.
So we were supposed to be talking about a film.
Yes, we were. This guy, his dad's fucking crazy.
That's correct.
And
it took me a minute to remember you weren't just pointing at me. You were just pointing at me, and I was like, "No, that is part of the movie. That is a plot in the film."
He accidentally kills his mom.
He does. No, the kid kills the mom.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So the film opens with a child playing with a gun in his father's study, and the gun goes off and shoots his mom, who is in the kitchen.
Yeah.
The dad comes home, and
he is pissed.
Contrary to what you might think, he's more annoyed with the kid. And then he kind of stares at the mom like,
I'm finally out of this fucking relationship.
Yeah, I'm free. And then he disposes of the body, and that's really it.
Yeah.
So, cut to many years later. This is a slasher film, so you know the routine.
Yeah, when it's a slasher film, you say cut to many years later. That's a little campy.
I mean, it's really what they all should say.
Transition to.
Yeah.
Many years later.
So.
Stab your way to 30 years later.
Now, young boy who killed his mother is college age, aka 34.
Yeah.
Conservatively. And he's with some buddies, and they're going to go to his dad's cabin.
Happy-go-lucky, too.
Yeah.
You know, for such a traumatic childhood.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. His very well-rounded for a kid who murdered his mother.
And I think his dad tried to murder him, like, as a child or something like that, right?
I mean, his dad clearly was not stable, so couldn't have raised him real well.
Yeah. So they go to this cabin.
And he's supposed to be going there by himself to clean the cabin in order to rent the cabin out for the season. And his friends decide to tag along because it's a beachfront cabin and have a fall break.
When the leaves of summer turn red and gold and the football games bring a hint of the cold, time to get away. We'll pack the car with escape in mind, forgetting about classes, leaving books behind, time to get away. Empty cottage sitting on the shore, tourists all left about a month before, and we're gonna have a good time.
Gonna have a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
We're going on now.
A fall break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight. We'll breathe the sweet salt air, I swear we'll never part.
We're going on now.
A fall break, running in the sand, feeling all I'll break into your heart.
And so, once the people have arrived at the cabin,
Here's the church.
and so once the human beings have arrived at the structure,
The people.
they
Ancient-
proceed to engage in adolescent
Conversation.
social activities.
And how?
So once the group arrives at the cabin, it quickly becomes apparent they are not the only people there. And we pretty quickly figure out that it's Kid's dad.
Yeah.
And he is crazy and he's going to kill people. Slasher film. Again, slasher film. And it plays out like a pretty typical slasher from that point.
Yeah. There was an odd scene with the pool when they jump into the pool.
Yeah.
And it's like she jumps in with... Yeah, we'll just cut all that out. I don't know why. It's a stupid thing to talk about. Remember that scene where she
No,
jumps in?
there's a scene where she jumps in the pool. She's
You can
clearly...
see her reflection in
Yeah.
the pool.
It shows us her... Like... It doesn't want to show us...
It's my vodka.
So there's a scene at the pool where we see a girl, and this is just bad editing. And bad directing.
See, I don't know if you're talking about the video they're watching right now, or the film. Maybe you have some sort of, you like a medium. You have this Nostradamus type skill, and you can look into the future. And you know how this thing is going to turn out, and how the editing process is going to go. And you know it's going to be lackluster and below par.
That was really... People are going to think you're a sad person.
I am a sad person.
Because that was very... It was very dark.
I like to say self-defecating.
Self-defecating?
Yes. It was very self-defecating.
Yeah. It was very self-defecating. So, there is a scene in this, and you could say it's bad editing, as we've said, or bad directing, but I don't think it's either of those. I think it's just not planning for high definition.
Yeah, how could they know?
Yeah. But
so much
we see
color
a girl
there.
remove her clothes, and the camera isn't on her, it's to the side, and we're seeing her peel off articles of clothing. We're seeing this girl peel off article of clothing.
You can peel off article of clothing. It's possible.
There's a scene in this motherfucking movie, James. There is a scene in this goddamn film. Okay. I'm a living, breathing being on this planet. I'm fine. So there's a scene in this film where...
Yes, there is. Actually, there's a bunch of them, and they're connected.
There's more than one.
Yeah.
They're put together, almost in sequence. The girl is seen removing articles of clothing. We're not actually looking at her. We're kind of looking to the side and seeing her peel clothing off and kind of toss it away. And we see her take off a bra and toss it away, and panties and toss it away. And then she jumps in the pool, and you can clearly see her reflection where she is still wearing a bra and panties.
Yeah. And we thought at first that she had a problem showing nudity. But later on, she's shown off
Yeah,
the boobs,
she's
so-
completely naked. So again, it was just a
was a
situation
fuck
where they're
up.
like, no, you don't have to be nude here because the camera's not going to be on you. And people certainly aren't going to be able to make out your reflection in the water.
No.
It's the 1980s.
Yeah.
There's no way people are going to see that.
Never gonna happen.
So, and that's not even the weirdest part about the scene. The weirdest part about this scene is the kill that happens during it, in which the girl goes underwater.
To give him a blowjob, I think. Isn't
No,
it?
she's at the other end of the pool.
I know. He's that well endowed.
No, I think they're just swimming.
They don't call him the Mutilator for a reason.
And she goes under, and she disappears into the water, and we see that she's been pulled under by the killer. But there's no way that they're in the water and the other person can't see that there's a third person in the water. And second, the timing is perfect in that he goes under the water to swim, and the killer then drags her body out of the water, up the ladder, out of the pool, and out of the building right as he comes up out of the water again. And it's one of those horror movie perfect timing situations where you're supposed to go, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
And it's
But
one of
it's-
those where he impales everybody too. Like I've seen it. It's so diatribe where he takes the victim and just like puts him on a gigantic fucking
Well, he puts him
marlin
on-
fishing hook.
They puts him on a fishing hook because he's a fisherman.
Yes, he is.
But overall, again, a pearly...
It is very pearly. Like I see the reflection. What about I'd like to cover the part about the ending.
Yeah,
I think we should. I mean, I guess we could skip it if you want.
sure.
I'm so glad you bought it and allowed me to watch it.
Yeah, it was good. It was worth watching. Again, about on par with The Burning.
I think it's
Nothing
way
real
better.
spectacular.
Just for the
Yeah.
song
I mean,
and the
yeah.
stories that the guy told about his dad. Those were hilarious. About the throwing of the darts and how him and his friends got drunk. And it wasn't darts. What were those little triangle things that they were throwing throughout the entire movie? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No.
He's right. It's on par with The Burning.
Going on now.
A ball break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight. We'll be the sweet soul